LA This Week.
I'm Anna Marcos. We'll show you why 60 kids from Council District 9 are playing with the pros at this Football Club of Barcelona event coming up.
Local artists showcase some of their best works to reflect a divisive time in America. I'm Gil Reyes at an art exhibit that's made in LA. I'll have the story next.
I'm Rasha Goel. Up next, find out what's brewing at the LA Zoo.
Hey everybody, welcome to LA This Week. I'm your host, Umaima Rashid. It's been a scorching hot one in Los Angeles, and we're here to keep you covered with all the latest happenings of the week. This week, LA hosted the 48th Annual National Association of the Commissions for Women. The theme this year was Cities Leading Women, where they looked at inequalities through the gender lens.
So today we have, and actually this week we have about 270 people from around the country and Los Angeles who are participating in the annual conference for the National Association of Commissions on Women. This is a really big deal for Los Angeles because we have women from all over the country here to learn about LA, learn about all the great work that LA is doing on gender equity. Our mayor is a national leader, in fact an international leader on the topic of gender equity.
And my wife and I, we are up here together for a reason. Gender equity is an integral part of our relationship and our life's work. As feminists, as activists, we've been fighting for a more equal world for our entire lives.
Most people don't realize that there are gender inequalities in society. We don't necessarily think they exist, but for example, the whole Me Too movement, the whole notion that there's sexual harassment that's a pervasive problem in society. A lot of people haven't thought about it. People who have been the victims of sexual harassment have thought, well, it's an isolated situation. So by being able to publicize and identify and point out areas where we see gender inequality and gender inequities, it's very important so that we can address them and correct them and make this a more fair and just world for everybody.
Gender inequity exists in things that you really don't think are sort of gender issues, and so that's why we think it's really important to apply what we're calling a gender lens. So looking at how everything we do actually impacts women. And so I'll give you an example of that. One of the things that I'm particularly interested in is transportation, and so we're currently redesigning and reimagining what those routes could look like, and applying a gender lens to that means that we're thinking about the unique ways with which women and girls will actually use the transit system. We want to ensure that we're looking at all of the areas that there are gender inequity in our societies, and what we as commissions can do in our roles where we influence governments, elected officials, and our community members to address some of those gaps. So it's about that capacity building and the sort of how-to and the toolkits to actually make real change happen.
So I come to every conference thinking I'm going to learn something new and be inspired by the women that I meet, and take that inspiration and do something with it when I get home.
I think that we're going to try to come up with some solutions and some answers to go back to our individual cities and try to get to work and do something about things as far as electing more women to offices, addressing issues on human trafficking, pay inequities among women. I have 4 granddaughters, so I'm hoping that in years to come they can say when women get together, we all did something to make it better for the new generation.
What's it like to get out on the pitch with one of the most beloved soccer teams in Europe? Dozens of kids from Councilmember Curran Price's district got that chance when FC Barcelona came to town. Anna Marcos takes the field.
It was a send-off made for soccer champions. With that, Councilmember Curran Price sent off 60 kids from his district, 30 boys and 30 girls, to play ball with the pros. The Football Club of Barcelona, or Barca as it's called, one of the most famous soccer teams in the world, held this special event for kids in Venice Beach, a day of bonding, learning skills, and building friendships.
So this is part of the council members' ongoing efforts to really help shape the next generation of leaders.
I mean, what's not to like when you have the Barca players themselves teach you the ins and outs of the game, and it improves your game on the spot.
It's really cool because like mostly people just say that the boys were just only playing soccer.
Do you think girls are just as good?
Yeah.
Are you as good as the boys?
Yes.
What is the funnest thing about playing soccer?
That you get to pass and play with your friends. I like soccer because of all the fun.
These kids may think they're learning how to juggle, dribble, and score goals, but they're also learning a lot more.
It's not about how good you are, it's how you're supposed to have fun and play all your best.
No, it's not just playing soccer. They can learn about the FC Barcelona values so that they can, learn not only about the sport, but really kind of build their character, touch on all the different core values that they promote on humility, responsibility, also team building.
The Football Club of Barcelona and its players, through their foundation, have made it their mission to teach kids sportsmanship and getting along around the world, especially in underprivileged or violence-prone areas. They are now in 59 countries.
We work with children, and why with them? We work with children that they are impacted by social exclusion, violence, environments. We try to bring bridges, to extend bridges between social distances. We did it, and we do it in Israel and Palestine. Children, they can mix together, they can play together, they can make friendship through sport.
Sounds like a recipe for good sportsmanship and world peace. And you have fun doing it in the process. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
World peace is no small task, right? This summer's World Cup showed how the sport can unite many nations. The LA Zoo gets with the Brew. Rasha Goel takes us to the zoo's most unique fundraiser.
I'm at the 8th annual Brew at the LA Zoo, where over 40 breweries are participating in this unique brew fest. I mean, where do you have a chance to try some unique beers while mingling with your favorite animals at the LA Zoo?
About 4,000 people attended the event, where they could taste from local craft and microbreweries. The event is also a fundraiser for the zoo.
Brew at the LA Zoo, like all of our nighttime events, supports the zoo and its mission, which includes not just the great work that we do here to care for the animals and the veterinary science that we do. It supports conservation efforts that we do here in Southern California and throughout the state and around the world. It's such a unique Brew Fest.
Brew at the LA Zoo gives people a chance to relax at the zoo in an adult atmosphere, whether it be the VIP lounge or an engaging session with the keeper.
Certain vocalizations will mean different things, which is really interesting. So almost everybody has the raspberry, which is what we call this.
It seemed like a good cause, get some funding for the zoo and just a chance to sample some local breweries and also just enjoy some good food and see some animals too.
So how many times do you get to drink a beer where the ingredients were picked out by a bear? So this is called Bear Necessities, and the ingredients for this beer were picked out by the North American Black Bear Ranger here at the zoo.
They put out like lemongrass and hibiscus flower and honey and oranges, a couple other things. And he ate the hibiscus flower, and then of course he went straight for the honey after that. It's a bear. And so we ended up, okay, so I've got hibiscus and honey to use, and how am I going to use that into a beer? So we pretty much made this.
So, how did the pale ale fare?
It's very tart in like kind of a bitter way. I expected it to be more of a sour beer, so I might be a little bit disappointed by the Spare's choices, but if we're being honest, it is still delicious.
The 4-hour event gave attendees a little taste of a lot of different things. It's enough to keep people coming back every year. Tony Chavez and Gina Garcia have been coming since the first one 8 years ago.
We love it. We just want to have fun.
I'm going to say all you can drink for $65. I mean, you really can't beat that.
And feed animals, too. It's great.
After all, it's one of the few times you can enjoy the zoo with adults only, as the event is for 21 and older.
We talked until 2, and then she said, it's time for bed.
It's just a fun night out in LA that you can do with your husband or your friends or whoever.
As zoo officials put it, it's a safari for all the senses. In Griffith Park, I'm Rasha Goel for LA This Week.
It's not every day you get to try a bear's beer recipe. To keep up with the zoo's special events, visit lazoo.org. Hacking is a hot-button issue nationwide, but with recent attacks on city governments, we decided to take a look at what the city is doing to stop cybercrimes. We got the details from Information Technology Agency's General Manager, Ted Ross.
Hacking is nothing new. That's why it's extremely important for the city of Los Angeles to be excellent at cybersecurity.
After the recent massive cyber attack in Atlanta on the city's municipal systems, the city of LA is ensuring more than ever it is on top of its cybersecurity.
The city of Atlanta is a great recent example of why it's extremely important for governments to have good cybersecurity. They were hacked by a ransomware attack. It actually spread across their network. It took over various PCs and data sets, and it got to the point where for about 5 days they couldn't even turn on a computer.
City services like the court system, animal services, airports, and law enforcement were completely shut down and greatly impacted the city for weeks and months afterwards. The initial cost to Atlanta was $2 million, but that has been increased to an additional $10 million.
The price tag isn't even done with just how many millions of dollars that could be used for police officers, for cleaning streets, for filling potholes, for making your community better. That has been taken and is being used to simply repair computer systems destroyed by cyber criminals.
Ross says the city's Information Technology Agency has already taken measures that would prevent Los Angeles from being in a similar situation.
One aspect is we have antivirus, we have all the proper configuration controls on all those public machines. We are constantly testing that to ensure that we don't have any open doors for people to come through. If someone did get through an open door, we provide data backup to ensure that if someone did encrypt data, we can go ahead and destroy that computer and bring that data back. You may lose some work, but it wouldn't allow our network to spread and to be hacked across it.
And here's how it affects Angelenos.
If you call an ambulance, they take your vital information and your personal health information and they give it over to the hospital so that you can be taken care of as fast as possible. That's sensitive personal data that the government has. When you pay your water bills, when you get permits, these are all interactions that you're having with your government in one way, shape, or form. That's why it's extremely important for government to have good cybersecurity so that your personal information that is yours is protected. And cybersecurity is really a conversation of ensuring that only the people who should have your information, nobody else.
A hard lesson learned for Atlanta, but hopefully one that LA and its residents never have to experience. I'm Rasha Goel for LA This Week.
Some very handy tips from Ted Ross. Many popular sites like Google now offer two-step verification to help further protect your data. UCLA's Hammer Museum currently has an exhibit near and dear to the hearts of SoCal artists. From divisive politics to polluted water, Gil Reyes has more from Made in LA.
Made with hanging fish nets, artist Carolina Caicedo's installation dives right into the problem of plastics polluting our waters, protecting fish and wildlife, among the issues tackled at the Made in LA exhibit at the Hammer Museum. Only LA area artists are invited.
Artists are always responding to what's happening in the world. So many of the artists in the show were responding to, the current state of affairs in the United States, politics.
And religion, oftentimes with Southern California's sun as the backdrop. Take this giant broken-off sunglass lens by artist MPA. The rest of it can be found in another part of the museum.
So they aren't whole, they're fractured, they're fragmented, and it's really meant to be somewhat of a commentary on kind of the state of affairs in the United States right now.
In response, there's this installation, a wall, not like the one in Mexico, but something more similar to a children's playhouse, with small holes to talk through any differences between Republicans and Democrats, pro-lifers and pro-choicers, Lakers fans and Clippers fans too.
We can laugh about it, and this would be a good place to do it.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, the colors that she chose are very intentional, right? They're very playful.
33 exhibits are on display. Be sure to vote for your favorite while here. The Made in LA exhibit is free.
Now, as visually interesting as these art pieces are, there's absolutely nothing like being here in person to experience them. The exhibit runs through September 2nd at the Hammer Museum. I'm Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
The Made in LA exhibit comes around just once every 2 years. Be sure to catch it before it's gone in early September. You can keep up with all the Hammers events at hammer.ucla.edu. Thinking about heading to the theater this weekend? If you have a mind for the macabre, there's an offering just for you at the historic Pico house.
So if you step over here...
It's showtime! And here at the supposedly haunted Pico house, a different type of immersive play is about to take shape.
From the moment you walk into this space, you're given a cloak. You are part of the performance, so you're almost getting more bang for your buck.
Tonight's presentation, The Assassination of Edgar Allan Poe.
It's a little bit spooky. It deals in the life and times of the author Edgar Allan Poe, and it's set here in the Pico house, which was built about 20 years after he died.
Since this is completely immersive theater, be prepared to follow the characters, the story, and the plot throughout the entire building.
Having the audience walk around instead of just on a set stage makes everything so much more live and real, and that's always the goal of live theater.
Use up and down, so the levels are amazing to play in. I'm fortunate to work with a great group of actors and a great group of directors.
One of the coolest aspects is that there are multiple versions of the play, and every night is a new experience.
So the audience gets to choose, do I follow this person, do I follow that person? But they won't see all of the scenes in the play when they come see it. They'll need to come another time.
So make sure you check out as many versions of the play as you can. It runs now through August 26th. After that, nevermore. Okay, sorry, I couldn't help myself. I'm Seth Hancock for LA This Week.
The Downtown Repertory Theater presents the play for free, but encourages audience donations. For Showtimes, visit downtownrep.com. This week, we joined Councilmember Joe Buscaino for the opening of 2 new supportive housing units in the South Bay. These units are part of LA's mission to provide housing options for the formerly homeless. Seth Hancock reports.
Homelessness is a rising issue across America, but Los Angeles is creating permanent solutions by building supportive housing.
The project that you see before you is a template for other projects to follow in the city of Los Angeles. Each council member has committed to 222 supportive housing units throughout the city of Los Angeles. For me, this is 160 of those 222 units, but I feel that we need to do a lot more in the city of Los Angeles to address the housing issue. This housing project is another reminder that we need housing at all income levels, from market rate to affordable to formerly homeless individuals. And this is what makes the city of Los Angeles going to thrive and address the homelessness issue as well.
To new tenants Carla and Lawrence McHugh, this supportive housing could not have come at a better time.
The supportive housing is very helpful. I wish I would have had it while I was working, because then, it would have been much easier for us. I could still be working, but to be homeless and work and have my husband's health problems, it was a little bit too much for me, and it was unfair to him. We can live like normal human beings again.
And isn't it remarkable how a new home can provide a fresh outlook on life?
I am so happy. I'm in tears. This is a blessing. I am so grateful for this opportunity. I'm going to make the best of it. I can't even use it in words. So happy. I had a home. Now I have a home again.
We love you, we bless you, and just know you're not alone. You will have services here on site every single day, so you do not go back out there and live in the sidewalks and in your cars. God bless you. We thank you. We thank Meta Housing, your case managers who are here. Thank you for not giving it up.
As Councilmember Buscaino mentioned, each district has committed to 222 housing units of this type. Did you make it to a local block party with LAPD officers this week? Tuesday marked the 35th annual National Night Out, where community members and law enforcement came together to make our neighborhoods safer. Anna Marcos has more from Silver Lake.
It was a fitting song for a night in which residents were busy taking back their streets. The 35th annual National Night Out kicked off in neighborhoods all over the country, and Silver Lake was no different.
You know that there are 38 million people in 16,000 communities who tonight are saying, whose streets? Our streets. And these are our streets in our community.
The night is meant to make neighborhoods safer and to foster better relations with police. Officers come face to face with residents and kids in a positive block party atmosphere.
National Night Out. This is when America takes a moment to enjoy America.
We go every year. We love it. The kids have a great time, and they get to meet the police and the firemen.
My whole street, we just are really active in the community, and I love living in Silver Lake, and I love this event.
A who's who list of the city's top brass was on hand to spend time with community members as residents recover from a recent shooting tragedy at the local Trader Joe's, in which a store manager was killed by a shooter.
It really has helped define who we are as a community in Silver Lake. We care about one another.
To see them out here shaking hands makes me feel as if they care about the people that are here.
And it gives officers, again, an opportunity to get out of their cars, break bread oftentimes, and it can be just, a little local barbecue.
Local barbecue or guacamole fest or cookie fest. It was a good time for all, what with petting zoos and magic tricks and, oh my, even a little chicken hypnosis. Just another national night out with residents putting a dent in crime by having a whole lot of fun. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
This year's National Night Out had an estimated 38 million attendees in over 16,000 communities across the country. Spend all day trying multitudes of ice cream? Yes, please. Project Runway has nothing on these fashion icons, and you might as well be walking on the sun as you relive the 90s with iconic band Smash Mouth. All this in this week's Things to Do. Looking for a sweet way to beat this summer heat? Head on down to Ice Cream Alley, a recurring event inside Smorgasburg, LA. Ice Cream Alley features the best of LA ice cream, from the traditional to wild new interpretations you're guaranteed to love. Admission is free. Ice Cream Alley takes place every Sunday through September 2nd at the Alameda Produce Market in downtown LA. From the stunning classic Vogue magazine covers through the era of Instagram, you don't want to miss this amazing Icons of Style fashion photography exhibition at the Getty Center. Spanning a full century of photographs and material, the exhibition shows how the magazine cover as an art form has truly become a cultural force. The exhibition runs through October 21st at the Getty Center, 1200 Getty Center Drive in Los Angeles. Admission is free. It's a cool place, and they say it gets colder. Dance back into the 90s with Smash Mouth. The iconic MTV era band is playing a free show as part of the Pershing Square Summer Concert Series. With hits like Walking on the Sun and All Star, Smash Mouth is forever ingrained as part of fun 90s culture. Opening the show are the Spin Doctors. So head on down to Pershing Square Saturday, August 18th for this really fun free event. And that's a look at some things to do.
Let's get to wobbling.
Wobbling? Yep, these so-called wobble pieces are the stuff of kids' play fantasies. At least that's what city leaders are counting on as they install the new adaptable play space at the Watts Alma Reeves Woods Branch Library. And the kids seem to be warming up to the wobble trend.
You never stop needing to play, to find a new friend, to get healthy, to just have some fun. It's part of what it means to be a human being.
Even Mayor Eric Garcetti tries on a wobble for size, and it seems a good fit. The playtime outside the library can definitely spark kids' imaginations, and city leaders hope so will the books and reading inside the library.
When all of you come to the library to wobble, and I know you will be wobbling this summer, be sure to explore and discover all of the amazing things there are to do at the Los Angeles Public Library. We are about access, we are about opportunity, empowerment, innovation, and lifelong learning.
To have a place to play here at the library, not only can y'all do your homework here now, but y'all can take a break in between homework, have a little playtime, do your homework, invite friends, and all that good stuff.
Many here believe healthy kids with lots of opportunities help create a healthy community with its own opportunities.
I think it's nice. It's about time they starting to bring some stuff to the hood. Bring stuff to the minorities. Bring stuff to the community. Put back into our community.
We're committed. We love this area. I grew up here, still here. And want to say to you, just know that we're here to make Watts the best that it can be. Have fun and let's play.
And play these kids do.
I like swimming, basketball, football, bubbles.
Yep, there's bubbles to be had too. Some of the kids actually do make it into the library. One of them ends up getting a library card with the help of Mayor Garcetti, who, it turns out, is pretty good at story time.
They pulled the enormous turnip right out of the ground. I know you guys have been wanting to see the turnip. It came out.
It seems new worlds are already opening up for some of the kids, whether it's through books, through bubbles, or just good old playtime. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
Finally, we'll close out this week's show with a look at how the LA Dodgers Foundation is helping to build 50 dream fields for LA's young sluggers. Anna Marcos reports.
It's a true field of dreams for kids to play ball, and not just little kids, big kids too. Mayor Eric Garcetti threw the first pitch himself. This newly spruced up Little League baseball field has opened in Bishop Canyon, a joint effort by the city and the LA Dodgers Foundation to build 50 so-called dream fields for children to play in. Javier Pavon came all the way from the valley with his mother to see it.
This field? Yeah. Oh, this field, I think it's pretty big compared to other fields. Hopefully I get a chance to play here. I really wish I do.
1, 2, 3, yay!
The Northeast LA Little League, fresh off their successful spring baseball season, now has this new field to celebrate as well.
We got inspired by the Dodger Stadium down below, so we actually did the whole site. So it got new irrigation, new turf, new soil, fencing. We put some dugouts, some pitching mounds, some batting cages.
Bishop Canyon is a very special project. We like to say that all of our Dodgers dream fields have a very special place, but to be in the backyard of Dodger Stadium.
One coach says the field is a win for the entire community.
They can see how nice the field is, they can see, how clean it is, and they can see the coaching, the kids, the parenting, how, the baseball brings the community together.
It's hard to imagine it now, looking out at the new fencing and the trees and the T-ball field, but take it from me, this field needed some real work. So we rolled up our sleeves and we got busy. We wanted to make sure that all of you had a safe place to swing a bat.
And swing a bat they do. These boys and girls are also apparently pros at throwing, catching, sliding into home runs, and stealing bases.
Did anyone steal a base this season? Nice!
This field of dreams is now open for business. All that's left to do is play ball. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
That's going to do it for this edition. I'm Umaima Rashid, and from all of us here at LA This Week, thanks for joining us. A reminder that you can catch us online at lacityview.org. You can also check out our newest social media feature, LA This Minute, on YouTube. We'll see you back here next week for more of LA This Week.